The pressure is on for these teams. In the upper bracket, they said, okay, you know, if we don't get top 25, at least we have another 3 matches to do it once again in the lower bracket. But this is literally the last chance for all of these duos. You get 3 opportunities, Jacob. 1 big game is all it takes.
Just a big moment. We've seen it in the last series of events, but since it's top 20 or top 15 instead of top 25, that point estimate is going to jump. So a win alone, depending on how many elims, might not necessarily be enough, depending on how you do in the last 2 games. And Kudo, Cheatin', they make their way back over from Grim Gates. No more Malabuka Mustache. You see Finn Kenti over off to the side as well. So a triple contest right out of the gates at Grim Gates, and then a 4th team around the outskirts. This is almost just as busy as it was on day 1.
You can see now a lot of the players who are dropping at Grim's Gate before having already qualified. New names here to battle it out, just like at the Reckless Railways. As we can take a look at Sky, I was going to say, where's Scroll at? Where's your duo, Sky? As he's been left alone, but is not getting chased by the opposing team here. So he's going to have a little bit of time to figure out his game plan. How's the reboot going to come through?
Yeah, just unfortunately enough for Sky and Scroll, this has kind of been the struggles in a lot of their qualification opportunities. It was Yanis and Flixie first. They kind of won out in a lot of those off-spawn battles, and now they're just kind of going down early. Luckily, like you mentioned, Scroll might have the reboot card that Sky has in his inventory, so he could try to get the reboot back. And you can see from all around the map, these early game fights mean so much. Getting separated from your teammate is all it really takes. He tried to backtrack and reunite, and you can see in his mini-map, his teammate already made the decision to abandon a play like this.
That quickly. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes just getting out and going for the later reboot is the better play. Now, Thomas HD Queasy being qualified. Less action here in Mount Olympus, but still 2 duos battling it out. Head-to-head as no big shots have been connected, but right as I say that, quick knockdown onto Stillion, the 2v1 now for Ice and Doom.
Yeah, big Ice and Doom right here. They're the ones that contested Queasy and Thomas all upper bracket long, and they're ready to take a challenge. When you already fight some of the biggest superstars in the region, coming into the last chance like this, you have to be brimming with confidence through and through, or at least you got to fake it till you make it. And I think with a first elimination like that, that confidence and the momentum here in this fight is going to continue to grow. But you see, now that they have a huge numbers advantage, they're taking their time, they're slowing things down, knowing the only hope that this player has is to either disengage, get the reboot, or just to fight it out, or just wait altogether. Uh-oh.
You see now, looked for the angle, unable to connect the initial one, but just the tap, tap, tap to take him out there. Quick, clean execution of the 2 eliminations here. Mount Olympus now has been claimed. Ice and Doom have it to themselves. I do see a duo kind of the outskirts, but I don't think they're gonna be looking for too much action, especially that it's already finished.
Yeah, they took down the players they got to worry about most, but from POI to POI, you can see Brawler's Battleground contested by Seb and Forzen. That's a nice shot. That's a good first shot, but unfortunately enough, back-to-back shots fired back, and Forzen with a nice little hop and a pop to take him down finally. And he's able to get the revive before his teammate is quickly finished up. But the mini-map, that third-party team, they heard it go down, and now they're closing the distance.
And a quick look at how this happened. Oh, Thunderbolt of Zeus from the skies. 3 clean shots. I love the animation on that ability. Looks so clean. Now Hedra, Kirwa, making use of another mythic waterbending. But ouch.
Overstays his welcome, peeking just a little bit too much. Forzen on the other side, trying to finish up on that damage. Hedra is down. Nice shot there from him trying to escape, leaving Kirwa by himself. But you can see Forzen say, look at this loot. Let's heal up again. Another individual where they just kind of separate their opponents and bring them down to 2 separate 2v1s.
Chase continues. Pop shot into the bush, looking to see just in case. Wherever they might be hiding, but going further and further away. The crack comes through. But this is going to take a bit of time to finish him off.
Yeah, opponent's just hoping he covers enough distance in the water.
He's
by the time
he's swimming all right.
hopefully he brought his water wings. so he doesn't sink here, but he's covering distance right now.
He is swimming all right.
Oh, here we go. How good is the aim from Forzen with the projectile, the drop off? His teammates coming with the water bending ability, so ammo is not going to be an issue here, especially with the projectile. But you see him just trying to build as much as he can, just wide out in the open. This is just one of those situations I wouldn't hope on anybody, let alone in the last chance to qualify for the grand finals, but he's going to be able to escape. Just the question now that remains, Takata, is does he have the reboot card? Because if he has to go back into that, I wish him the best of luck.
I hope they don't miss out on qualification by 4 points just by not getting that elimp. That would be a tragedy. Pixie Juan, we've seen a lot of them today. We'll see if now in the lower bracket it could be their time to shine. Looking for a bit of action Classic Court side, but decided for the disengagement. There's a lot of duos in the surrounding area, not just the ones that were in that box fight, so they do have to be careful here.
Yeah, and you add in the fact that they don't really have heals for the HP between the both of them. The team they were running against isn't even the one that's focusing them as now. That's a whole new team entering into the mix. Pixie and Juan, aka Wox, just trying to rotate straight through Classic Court. They see the zone is moving towards the south portion of the map, so it does look like they're going to float around the eastern edge to try to find a slow spot of the zone that they can enter in for free.
Taking a look once again at Grim Gate. Marius here. Where is Sangild at? Right beside him. They've got two separate boxes here, just kind of eyeballing the location. You can see in the minimap how many duos though there really is close by. Sangild realizing the danger, grouping up now. Used a bit of mats to do so in a chug splash, but much better than getting knocked down.
Yeah, that was almost a disaster waiting to strike. Just a little bit of separation between Sangild and Marius. You saw that duo looking like they just wanted to pounce on the Sangild. He quickly reacted, builded over, closed the distance between him and Marius, which kind of makes it a little bit more risky of a fight if you're going to take it. So they're just going to continue to rotate on out, find a better spot. So they can do something very, very similar to this. Trulex and Chicho, the struggles from the upper bracket at a singular point due to those off spawns. It does look like this time around, though, they do get it uncontested. So back to the strat book, back to the blueprint that got them this far.
Couple shots from the DMR come through, nothing connecting. Should have more opportunities as players continue to rotate through the restored reels here. They are using their ramps to have a bit of cover, can do more right-hand peeks, especially if you don't have those bush bombs.
Where you kind of see, like I kind of mentioned, due to this being the last chance for a lot of teams to qualify, you're seeing how slow players are getting dropped off the lobby. 84 players still left alive, even though there's still some fights going on, and that can change as Pixie walks. Pixie's already down. Juan's by himself, aka Wox. Kaido's just trying to get out alive. 14 HP.
No.
That's going to be a trade, but only a momentary one. Dea just goes and gets that elimination. Has a chance for the rebuy, but in comes Sky, in comes Scroll, all the way from Reckless Railways. Oh,
Third
first
party.
shot.
And just like that, not even 2 seconds. And the elimination comes through. Sky and Scroll now. A little bit of extra loot to pick up.
That's important because Sky and Scroll, when we first saw them on the day, I think Sky was a solo trying to get his teammate back, which means they probably lost the fight, didn't get a lot of surge. So taking that opportune moment, rotate towards the nose, sacrifice some heals, some HP, because you know you're going deep in the zone, just to kind of finish a fight like that. It's not a ton for your Storm Surge, but you know how these lobbies have been going. Some early Storm Surge is better than no early Storm Surge.
That's true. Probably some of the most difficult Storm Surge lobbies we've seen in Fortnite competitive, especially with the current mobility meta. Astral Art skill now choosing to refarm on the rotate. Talked about this earlier, but it is crucial to maximize your efficiency in terms of gathering materials, not just in the early game and your mid-game route, but even in the last moving zones when you rotate through some area that might have some trees, some rocks. Those 4 or 5 builds could be the difference in qualifying.
I like that from Astro and Art Skill. They have the 4 floppers, and you'd think they'd kind of use them pretty quickly, especially since they're rotating. But because they have those dashes and the zone is moving towards the south, a lot of teams have rotated, so they're just kind of dashing, knowing where these fire pits are. They're going to box up on one, use it to save a lot of the resources that they've had up until this point. Marius and Sang just dipping the toes into the water, getting a feel for those dashes, whether they want to get aggressive or not. They know it's a huge part of their game plan since they land over towards the underworld.
Trying to see if a snipe can get connected here. No shot's going to be taken. Basically on the borderline of the zone here. Playing edge zone. Can be good for finding those players. Rotating in late, but Sandguild going to get headshotted. Forced to use a bit of shields now as bad sniper. Can he be a good sniper here with a player rotating through? No shot connected.
Ooh, they're doing a little bait.
Got him. Yeah.
Seeing one person was trying to peek through the window, draw bad sniper's attention. Sniper over the top. Big bush bomb on the other side is not allowing bad sniper to figure out exactly where that player's positioned in for the shots to come in, and just the annoyance, the persistence to just keep tearing down these builds so they get an angle, and finally one is going to be able to sneak through, landing on the bad sniper. You can see they have to be careful. Marius on the other side of the map is finally going to take down Art Skill, which Astro and Art Skill did stop on that fire pit, so that's a sign of weakness if you look right enough.
Now, gotta be careful as the zone is closing. Pressure for these duos. Gets a huge crack though. Even the knock boxes his knockdown player. Can recuperate now all the loot, all the materials. That is a huge pickup for Marius here.
Yeah, great amount of surge as well. Continue to add onto that total. It's 2 eliminations from Marius and Sandguild. With how hyped this team has actually been, some of the problems has been that of Surge. They can make it into these end games, but they're forced into fights as Marius just makes it look easy. Boxes him up, takes him down, separates him from his teammates. And now with Surge and a full loadout that they just boasted up even more, they can kind of focus on the rotation and positioning from here on out.
Jakey tweet. They know something's around here. It's Belusi that's hiding. They found him. As that's a quick way to clean it out.
Yeah, so far away, and what started off a little slow is speeding up just a little bit. Gonna have similar surge as that last couple games that we played in the upper bracket. Jakey and Twy, 2 eliminations there. All they have to do is worry about zone. They have open field almost in front of them, so quick and easy rotation as long as they stay on task. As we continue to look around the lobby, Trulex is now in the tower. That's because Chicho was actually taken down not too long ago. So Trulex now by himself, hoping maybe even the zone continues to move south. That way they can probably get that reboot back up at restored reels. We almost got a couple minutes to wait for that to even be a possibility.
Kentic looks like got elimination as well. You can see the center map is the popular location for a lot of these Storm Surge bases, especially when the zone pulls to this area. Chicho, having gone down though, is going to make it quite difficult for Trulex. But nothing's impossible, Jacob. We've seen bigger comebacks happen before in these lobbies.
Yeah, because even though it's a little different with the top 15, you kind of need one good game and then maybe a decent game after that. Trulex, he's able to get this reboot back up. It won't change much in terms of their surge, so no one's going to probably push on over to this position, so Trulex still has the lay of the land high up in the tower. But there's just no real opportunities being given to him. Everybody's boxed up. Nobody's peeking. And if they do, it's probably a small window or a portion of their cone that Trulex just doesn't have an angle on.
300 above for Lucia and Bang. Great position too, but with Peace King coming close, they might not be above, which is going to force them to look for some shots here. And this might not be an engagement they want to take, but it's going to be one they have to take.
Yeah, now that they're 70 below, they have no choice. They try to be proactive early on in this game and have a little bit more control over their destiny, but that time has come and gone. Luckily, though, as of now, they are isolated on top of Rift Island, but that could change in the blink of an eye due to the zip lines, the rifts that are all below. And pings, and Lusha just trying to play defensive here. You almost got to guess with Storm Surge activated, a team playing as aggressive as they are, that they are suffering the surge. So just holding on to your builds might be a recipe for success, but the next team starts to come in, that third party. Chances to disrupt this instead of just taking that line of sight on the edge is going to be real, especially with it on the line.
Pressure is on now. As Lucia Pink don't even need to take too many engagements here. They have used quite a bit of materials though. Has so many duos in the surrounding area now, just kind of taking shots at each other. You have to decide kind of what the game plan is here. No rotation has to be made as Zone is still on the Rift Island here. With Lens and Tidy applying that pressure. They don't have a lot of options.
You can see though that they instantly kind of took the elevation all around where they were currently boxed up, taking away options from what they can actually do. They can't really peek out anymore without it being a little bit of a risk to try to get surge of their own. So it almost feels like they're just stagnant in this position unless they want to give up this entire box that they've made. And you can see Lens and Tidy, they're the ones that are going to have that sight advantage on top of Rift Island, where they watch the players below and they can watch the ones around the island so they can get their surge.
Just 37 above for Shimoki and Wheat. That's not a position to be comfortable. As the gas station explodes, the positioning changes here. They saw some duos up on that ridge. It is an option to take a couple shots, but you can see there's more duos now on the borderline of Zone. They could be looking back at them. They're kind of just looking for any options here, but now just 18 seconds till Zone closes. The Storm Surge activates. They need to start finding some shots. 62, that's huge, but they're going to need more.
Yeah, they just go on the positive side of Storm Surge instantly at that first shot. Just like you said, they know it's not over just yet. That can change in an instant. And right now we have 70 players left alive, and that's going to have to drop down to about 60 players, so 11 need to go down for Storm Surge to deactivate. And for teams like Shimoki and Wheat, who are kind of positioned down in the dirt, they don't really have any elevation. Getting those Storm Surge tags are not going to be easy.
Zysxvii now forced into action once again. Chain of Hades, though, in the 1 versus 2. Is it possible? Just a couple more swings might be all it takes, but with 22 HP to work with, one shot will take him out here. Flowberry Fizz, though, with 100 charge. As they're going to heal each other up.
Yeah, Buzz did a good job of just pushing it to the other side of that box. That was almost looking bleak for Zysxvii. But now the tables have turned. Robin and Juve from the top side steal the cover, forces them to reposition. And with so many teams towards the south side of the map, in and around fencing fields, it's not going to be easy to find a free rotation over. So this is why you see that priority in rotations come through and the timing having to be perfect. If you're on the front side in the green zone, you're going to be one of the first teams to move, and everybody else behind you has to wait in sections for the next team to move, so they can have that safe rotation. Otherwise, they're going to risk rotating parallel and probably going down.
There's so many duos that are rotating right now. We can see Ice and Doom. We're able to pick up 2, but they're also far away from the zone. So with so many duos having to rotate in, it opens up the opportunity for the ones that are already based up in the zone to kind of take shots at them. 135 below, though.
Yeah, just the current position where they're at, or at least before, with zone pulling in the direction, it might ease up on some of that pressure, but they're just too far down low, and they don't really have builds to build this box any higher, so they just have to wait for a lot of these teams to come to them, and a lot of those shots are going to land onto Moneymaker. Wheat actually gets the knock, so it's going to help in terms of surge, in terms of loot, but they are barely above that threshold.
They still got to do more work. The job is not done. Great loadout to work with, but we can look at Ju and Robin. As Robin has already been eliminated, Ju now is forced to clutch it up here, but Storm Surge is taking just 2 med kits to out heal it. Shortly will not have any shield to work with. I don't see a lot of options to come out of this on top, Jacob.
Yeah, especially since Zone is doing so much damage. It's too early to try to stagger yourself, so you're getting ticked every couple of seconds by the 25, and seconds to go, he was taking damage to Storm. Only 1 med kit left. 2 more players still need to go down Out healing, I'm not sure is going to be a possibility unless he gets this one off in
25.
time.
No!
No! He got to
1
24 by the 25 tick, and even Zangi gets chopped down. There's a surge again throughout the entirety of the weekend, Takata. It's forcing players who aren't proactive in the early game to do exactly that. They have no choice but to try to get into a box to try to get their surge, because at this stage of the game, everybody's boxed up, as you can see.
Devastating. A lot of these players. You saw there was only a few of them who are in zone, a majority having to rotate. And even the ones that are positioned in zone like Shimoki and Wheat, they're only 17 above. They have to land their shots here and everybody rotating in, but with the window open that big, you know the fire is going to be returning towards them as well.
You're really seeing why this season is, you know, what it is, where one player is carrying the DMR, trying to get shots in the distance. The other one is carrying either a Thunderburst SMG or their water bending ability, so that way they can try to spray through some of these boxes and not leave them with the DMR, because you know as well as I do, if both players have a DMR, you're almost leaving it to a close range battle. And Marius and Sandguild, they don't have that comfortability of the zone just yet, but they're inching themselves closer and closer each and every step that they take. And they're getting damage along the way, which is why you see them 115 above the threshold. A big difference from when last time we saw them.
Actually landing crucial shots here. Looking for more opportunities. Cannot connect with the snipe, but maybe with the Thunderburst, at least a couple bullets. Tidy continuing to build up. He has been dropped. This opens up some shots there. It's only going to be a 25, but better than nothing. As now the regroup with Sandguild is going to come through.
Like that view of the map, Doom and Ice rotating on over towards the edge. Trulex by himself, but he has the front side of the zone. And these are big points. These are massive points for Trulex, considering how early on in the game Chicho did go down. So you got to think every single one of these points that they're going to earn in game one is off the back of Trulex. Nice shots there to keep him ahead of the curve in terms of surge. And what this is doing here is building the confidence, building the momentum. So if Trulex can manage a top 15, a top 10 by himself, that's got to build that confidence for the next two games to get them within range. It is top 15, and as of now, the projected point total is going to be around 88. So he needs 70 more to go before he's almost looking like a lot.
It's about 29, 30 points a match. So if Trulex can get 30 points this match, then he's on route in terms of consistency to qualify. But playing as a solo is always difficult. Just 28 players up though. You can see how damaging Storm Surge has been for a lot of these duos. Trulex is doing a great job staying on the far side of zone here ahead though, especially if it ends up pulling towards him. Wish it did.
Yeah, great scenario for him. Plus, he has that bush right next to his box. He has multiple angles he could take if he continues to try to get surge, but 27 players still left alive. And the first team that you see that has some sort of control over the high ground is to be here, Hris and Zysxvii, but they still got a good distance to cover. And if they don't have those dashes, it's not going to be easy for them to maintain that position.
Good news is, though, using the natural animation from that hill, they are very high up compared to the other teams, so I don't think they're going to get contested anytime soon, especially having put themselves ahead of the zone here. Shimoki Wheat, though, on the other hand now, recycling a bit of previous builds, looking to see if they can use that Flowberry to make their way onto zone.
Or others are healthy with the heals, have a ton of builds, others not so much. And on the other side of things, you got Marius in the zone fighting for every single inch. They still have the dashes left over as well. That's planning for the future. Pressure coming in from Jake Buka and Cringe on the other side, but Marius, Sandguild, they hold the line. They don't want to let them enter the box, but their persistence is going to be key, and it's also going to be their demise. Marius peeks through the cover, gets the piece control at the perfect time, getting the shields down low, forcing them to disperse in two different directions, and Cringe is going to fall now that Jake Buka's no longer there to save the day.
Quick little refresh for Marius. Sandguild puts them at 4. But Finn's not happy with that, as now he's dropped down, looking to see what happened to the party. Where did they go? I think I see Sandguild too, right behind. Not looking healthy at all. No shields to work with. Low HP, as now they're healing up. Flowberry Fizz getting put to good use here. Zone does pull back. So now the duos that barely made it in should have a bit of time to breathe.
One of them's going to drop to the backside of zone. Finn's going to be left by himself, but he finds that final elimination onto Jake Buka. That gets him elimination points, it gets him placement points, and it gets him one step closer to that top 15, but it doesn't end here. Shots coming in from Marius, shots coming in from Sangil. They're going to find that elimination, bring their elimination total to 5, and they're on the hunt for more. Forzen, Seb, they're in their line of sight. Shields are going to get cracked, momentarily distracted by the high ground, though, but that's going to be Sangil leading them to greener pastures, immediately knowing the situation they're in, and beats every team to the punch to the front side of zone.
Looking strong. They could use a bit more materials. They were second height, now forced to drop down low, just like Shimoki and Wheat, but that's a huge knock onto Lucia. Gonna have to pick up those materials, but now so many players have dropped down low as they don't have any more mats to work with. All the chaos is unfolding in the dirt.
Oh, he gets the Zeus medallion at the last second. Marius now going to be able to run wild, both figuratively and literally, as he inches into the top 5, but his teammate goes down, all left by himself, and he gets that second height, pressured from above, pressured from below. There are teams all around him, but he's quick thinking, trying to stay out alive, but he goes down. Top 4 position for Marius.
Zysxvii from above, dropping down now for the aggression, takes one. Just one more shot needed to connect. It's a 2 versus 1 now on the lost player. There's still one more, actually. I was wrong. He gets knocked down. Where's the last player, Jacob?
Probably the backside of zone, healing off, and it's Doom and Ice, quad contested, upper bracket, triple contested, lower bracket. Even though they didn't win the game, they got a ton of points, but it's Hris and Zysxvii. We thought they were going to do it in day 1 and day 2, but they pull up here in day 3 of the lower bracket and score big time.
Great way to close it out for both duos there in the last moments of the game. The projected points is around 88. So if you start off in the top 5, even with a victory royale, that is a great way to set you up for success in this lower bracket.
Yeah, you're seeing the changes from the win and you're in to the consistency format. Who is really up for that challenge? Because grand finals around the corner, all consistency throughout 12 games and 2 days. So this is a true test to any of these players' testament.
We can see how they closed it out here from dropping down. You have to know when to play aggressive, even with the floppers in the inventory. It was that 2v1, and Doom, the duo that was contesting Thomas HD and Queasy, got second place there by tanking a bit of Storm. So with the amount of points they secured, hopefully that should be more than enough to help them feel confident for these upcoming 2 matches.
Yeah, but you got to realize, even though it's 3 short games, it's consistency throughout those 3 games, and you cannot let up off the gas at a moment's notice, especially if you're landing at one of those spots that are contested. But game 1 is already done and over with. 2 more games to go, but I'm going to throw it right back on over to the desk to let us know what the leaderboard looks like after 1.